So, who are your new friends, Grandpa? Asked Alex, as he looked at me and Bobby. It seemed to me that David hadn't taught his dear grandson how to smile. We sure didn't see any signs of it. They got my letters, replied David. Jasmine's letters, Alex replied with surprise. Yes. Alex dabbed a cloth napkin on his lips, looked at me and said, "You are her granddaughter." "No, Alex," answered David, before I could open my mouth. Alex was surprised. "Then, they live in her house." "Sir," Bobby interrupted, "can I ask you something?" "Go ahead, my dear." "Who is Jasmine?" Alex and I raised our heads and looked at David together. "Ah, Jasmine was a pretty woman," replied David, as he seemed to recall Jasmine's face. "Just like you, my dear friend," he said, suddenly turning to me. This was strange. I blushed for the first time. She was different from the others. She loved to make promises. She loved flowers. She had a short temper, and it made her look cuter than ever. She used to bargain with the shopkeepers when she bought toffees and lollipops. David smiled and continued, "Yes. She loved lollipops, which made her even more adorable. I met her in the botanical garden." I couldn't resist interrupting David, "under the oak tree. She was waiting for someone and you were reading a book." Everyone turned towards me. Alex looked surprised to hear this. David smiled and replied, "I am impressed." "Sir," Bobby interrupted. "Yes. Do you still get goosebumps when you recall your first meeting with Jasmine, as you wrote in the letter?" asked Bobby, as she tried to look innocent by showing her puppy eyes. David burst into laughter. Alex, too, smiled for the first time. "You are cute, Bobby," said David, and he continued with his story. "I vowed to her that I would write to her whenever I could. She also promised that she would reply to each and every letter of mine." "But," David's voice fell, "but she never replied." "Yeah, she never cared to reply," interrupted Alex. His tone irked me. "We don't know what happened to her. Maybe she and her family moved to another place," I retorted. "But could she not have informed Grandpa?" Alex replied, his tone harsh. David spoke. "Years have passed. I just want to see her once, before I die." We were all silent. David took a deep breath and said, "But this hope seems to be fading now. I don't think this wish of mine will ever come true. Can we help you in finding Jasmine?" I said suddenly. "What?" Bobby and Alex exclaimed in dismay, together. David smiled and said, "I don't even know if that is possible, but if you can, it may just be the best thing in my life." "Grandpa, it is a waste of time," said Alex. "Why is it a waste of time?" I asked. This Alex's attitude was beginning to get on my nerves. "We only have vague information. All that we know about her is from years ago. We don't know what happened to her or where she went," replied Alex in a firm tone, as he turned to David. "I actually feel it is a waste of time, Grandpa." "Alex, all these years I didn't hear from Jasmine, but I didn't lose hope. I went and waited under the oak tree for years. Today, these girls have shone a ray of hope on my heart," replied David. "I think we can give it a try," said Bobby. "Count Alex in, girls," said David. He was sure that his grandson would never deny any of his wishes. We all smiled and ate our lunch peacefully. It was visible on David's face how satisfied, happy and excited he was. Alex, meanwhile, had gone back to his not interested mood. I noticed that Bobby couldn't stop glancing at Alex again and again. I think she had a crush on him. Oh, her crush. We were dropped back to our flat in David's car. "Wasn't that quite unexpected?" said Bobby, as she unlocked our flat's door. "I love unexpected things, especially when something good happens." "Are you talking about that hottie?" Bobby grinned. "Oh, please." I pretended I didn't care. "What please? Did you not like him?" Bobby seemed interested. "Bobby, stop it." He was arrogant. He didn't smile and he kept shooting our plan down. "I hate such arrogant men," I replied, as I took off my boots and plonked on the couch. "I found him hot. He behaved like a Hollywood star," Bobby continued. "Want some coffee, Twee?" "Sure," I replied, as I checked my cell phone to see whether I had any messages. "By the way, Twee," Bobby said from the kitchen, "do you think Alex could like me or not?" "Whatever. Whatever. You have to tell me, Twee. I am dying to meet him again. I've decided I will wear my short blue dress that has stars on it for our next meeting." I look slim and sexy in that dress. I am sure it will impress Alex. Bobby spoke at the top of her voice from the kitchen. I simply nodded along with a fake smile on my face. I found Alex really sexy and attractive, too. But that was about his looks. Looks, for me, are secondary when it comes to a guy. What is important is that a guy should be sensible, strong, soft-spoken, lovable and understanding. I know my hopes are really high, but I don't wish to compromise. And I couldn't see even a single point from my list being fulfilled by that Alex. He was arrogant and blunt. Maybe he was proud because he was rich. Hey, Twee, what would Alex's height be? Bobby asked, as she entered the living room with 2 cups of coffee on a tray. Why do you ask? I need to know, so that I can decide whether I should wear heels or not, when we meet the next time. Bobby answered, as she handed my cup to me. Bobby, can you please talk about something else? I said. I was getting annoyed with all this Alex talk that she had been going on about since the time we had left the mansion. Bobby was head over heels for Alex, and was unknowingly irritating me. No, I can't, Twee, Bobby replied, gazing at me with her puppy eyes. What are you talking about? I took a small sip of coffee and continued. Bobby, do you, have a crush on Alex? Twee, Bobby blushed big time. So you do have a crush on Alex? Her silly reactions confirmed my doubt. The heart is weird. I clearly knew that Alex was not my type, and I could also see Bobby getting interested in him. But yet, my heart wanted Bobby to say, no. Yes, I do, Twee, Bobby replied with a shy smile. Oh, I replied. I got up and said, I'll just be back from the loo. I went inside the loo and looked at the mirror. What is it? I wondered, as I looked straight into my eyes. Do I also have a crush on Alex? But he is clearly not my type. And Bobby is a nice girl. If there is even the slightest possibility of Alex and Bobby getting together, I must not ruin it. And maybe I am wasting my time here. Maybe I should go back to Bobby and talk to her for once as a friend, and not as a boss. I splashed some water on my face and came back to the living room. Bobby was humming some song and enjoying her coffee. So, would you mind explaining to me how this happened? You've only met the guy once, you know, I said to Bobby. I don't know. I wasn't expecting to bump into Alex during our lunch with David, Bobby started as she blushed. Then he entered the room and I couldn't take my eyes off him. He was like a Hollywood star. The way he walked, the way he greeted everyone and the way he sat down at the table, wow. I just can't explain how I felt. I smiled. Yes, I genuinely smiled as I had started feeling happy for this silly girl. Love was in the air. Love was all around me. My thoughts, my perceptions were changing. I was changing. And then during lunch, our eyes met 6 times. I couldn't stop myself from looking at him, but the best feeling was when I caught him looking at me. Bobby squealed. That's great, Bobby. I guess it is the best feeling when you catch your crush looking at you. I smiled mischievously. And can you believe it, Twee, he gave me the world's cutest smile when I caught him looking. And you know what, Twee? He, too, gets dimples on his cheeks. Isn't he just dreamy? Really, I didn't notice, I replied, trying to recall his face. Are you sure, Bobby? Because as far as I remember, that man did not crack a single smile. In fact, I am not sure he knows how to smile. He did smile, Twee. You were busy eating when this happened. I can't forget his dimples, Bobby sighed. Calm down, Bobby, you are going too fast. Remember, it is not about the dimples and the cheeks, but about the heart that beats. Of course, Bobby replied seriously. So, can we talk about something else now? I asked. Sure. I was happy for her, but how long could I stand this Alex is so cute speech? I had started feeling bored. Okay, Twee. We'll talk about something else. So, what were you saying? When something good happens, what was the good that happened? We got to sit in a vintage car and have lunch with the richest man in this city. Bobby asked. She seemed to want to know what was going on in my mind. Well, I paused for 2 seconds and then continued. The first good thing that happened was David's reaction. I was seriously expecting some melodrama there. I was mentally prepared to handle whatever scene that old man would create. But his reaction took me by surprise. It was so unexpected. He was shocked but then he overcame that in a moment and was back to normal. Bobby completed my sentence. Exactly. But I do think he was trying to hide his emotions. And, of course, there was actually no need to display his true feelings publicly or even to us. But his heart must have been shattered. You know, Bobby, I said, as I stopped to sip at my coffee, and continued, heartbreaks are not always loud, like a bomb explosion. They are often silent, and they shatter a person from inside. All you are left with are memories and fake smiles. I did not think of it in that way, Twee. But after hearing you, I want to meet David again and want to console him for whatever he has gone through. Yeah, it must not have been an easy thing to wait for so many years, and then reach a dead end. You actually have no way to proceed. We have to help him out. At least, we can try to find out where Jasmine has disappeared, Bobby said. If not that, we can at least seek the answer to why Jasmine didn't reply to the letters, I said. Yes, Twee, and for that, we have to start our investigation from this place, said Bobby, as she got up from the couch. I could tell that Bobby had found her new project. Here, I asked. Yeah, here, we will look at all the hidden corners of this flat, the storerooms, the closets, everywhere. Maybe we'll find a clue, replied Bobby. So, Bobby was not all that dumb actually, I concluded. Wait, Bobby, let's not start today. This is all we've been doing since the morning. Let's take a break and we shall start our investigation from tomorrow. Even I have a plan up my sleeve, I added mysteriously. What plan? You'll find out tomorrow. Udharan, a squabble in the orchard. Good morning, Twee. Get up, Twee. Open your eyes, Twee. See, I have something to show you. I struggled to open my eyes. I was feeling damn sleepy, but Bobby's irritating voice periodically kept disrupting my sleep. What is it, Bobby? Why won't you let me sleep? I shouted, without opening my eyes. Open your eyes, Twee. I got something to show you, I heard Bobby say. God knows how she managed to sound so chirpy in the morning. I opened my eyes a tiny bit and saw Bobby standing in front of my bed with a bouquet of orchids in her hands. You brought me flowers, Bobby, I said, as I shrugged my quilt off and raised my head for a better view. No, Twee. They're not from me, they're from David, Bobby said, as she took out a small note tucked in between the flowers. See, I got up and took the note from her hands. It said, Good morning, beautiful girls. I am sending you flowers as a welcome gift, and a car along with a driver. Let's catch up for breakfast. See you both. What? I said in surprise. We will be meeting that hottie again. And we will be visiting that wonderful palace again. Get up, Twee. Get ready. The driver's waiting. We ought to rush, said Bobby as she kept the bouquet on my bedside table and rushed out of the room. I rolled my eyes and got out of bed. Let's get this straight. I hate getting up early, especially against my wishes. I glanced at the watch grumpily, and to my surprise, realized it was actually 8:30 a.m. I had